Good morning. This is Jason Moss of Georgia Manufacturing Alliance and Manufacturing News Network. It is May the 28th, and this call is our retooling task force. And this is where we're gathering thought leaders to share ideas of what they're seeing out in the marketplace and kind of share some best practices about what's going on. Really excited about the call today. We got a few different topics that we're going to kick around, and but what I'd like to do as we kick this off, everybody has a little bit different spin on things, and today we're gonna use this not only as informational but also an opportunity to grow our relationships and networking and that sort of thing. So what we're going to do is just quickly. I think most everybody knows everybody on the call, but I do want to do a round robin and again, to make sure that we've got all this nailed down. Cookie's breaking out that pad and fresh pen. I'm sure she's writing everything down quickly, but as she always does. But what I'd like to do is have each of you introduce yourself, tell us who you are, again, your company, your role there, and then what you're seeing in the marketplace. Now I'll open it up and kind of give you my foundation, sort of the flavor of what we're talking about today. Is, again, this is to share the focus of this call is to share best practices on relaunching and retooling manufacturers and businesses of all kinds to get back to our previous success in America. So this weekend I had the opportunity to go to Lowe's in Snellville, and I was pretty amazed that there were no parking spaces left in the parking lot. The parking lot was completely full in Lowe's and Home Depot, and I saw maybe 1 in 10 people wearing masks, which was interesting. And so my prediction, that and $3 will buy you a cup of coffee. But my prediction is that if we don't see like a unbelievable influx of hospitalizations in 2 weeks, I think that we're going to be on a rapid recovery nationwide, and getting back to business. And I think that we have an opportunity for some unbelievable growth that will be sustained for generations because we're more efficient about what we do as a country and more aware of where products come from and our supply chain and the critical parts there and how we can support each other in that and the communities that we're growing and building. So that's my take on sort of where we're at. And I want everybody to be, be as honest as you're comfortable with. Tell me what you're seeing, what you're feeling, kind of what is the temperature for you as a person, and then on the flip side, what is the temperature and the vibe for your business, for your organization? And Joe, I'm gonna start out with you, and I'm gonna kind of see this just a little bit because I know that the people that a lot of the folks that you work with are in a different environment than the overall workforce in Atlanta. So share with us a little bit about and tell us who you are, what you do, what y'all's mission is there, and give us a little insights on what you see going forward.
Yeah, am I muted here? No, there we go. Okay. Joe Palini with the Bobby Dodd Institute. I think I know most of you on this call here. We're a nonprofit here in Atlanta that works with adults who have disabilities. We've got 4 different office complexes and warehouses around town, 1 in Atlanta, 1 in Jonesboro. We operate an 80 to 90 person call center down in College Park. And then we also have our consulting part of our business over in Decatur. On the business side for us, business has been good because a lot of our heavy lines of revenue are in custodial and landscaping, and with government buildings and state buildings and some educational institutions like Georgia Tech. It's been crazy with what we've been able to do is buildings that want one-off cleanings. They just want someone to come in and sanitize it top to bottom. A lot of the companies that have hired us to do that have been so impressed with our quality of work and our certifications and the competencies we have in that area that they're extending us to year-long, multi-year contracts. because they're not happy with the companies they had before. Yeah, like in Georgia, I'll use Georgia Tech as an example. We were operating in 2 buildings there on just small, maybe 1 or 2 day cleanings. And now we're in 7 buildings, about to be 9 buildings. And we've been able to add on an additional, I think 18 or 19 employees just for that one area. So, it's been great. And you start to see, as far as, the broader scope of thing, there's a lot of buzzwords going out there in office sanitation and cleaning and all that. For us, as Jason said, we operate in a little bit different world as far as our staff and the people that we support, because a lot of them are medically fragile or on that end of the spectrum, or they have to be extremely cautious with being exposed to anything, regardless of COVID-19. It's just any kind of virus. So we're taking our reopening as far as our offices and our warehousing space a little bit slower than most, just so we can make sure, we don't see spikes in hospitalizations, and, everyone's kind of, we want to see where the trends go. For me personally, I'm pretty comfortable in most environments, and my mentality is if I get COVID, I'm going to get it. I'm going to take all the necessary precautions to not get it and wear a mask and all that. But, it is what it is at this point for me. That being out more in the public and visiting other businesses, I think there's still a lot of awkwardness. And I think,
that's a great way to put that.
Yeah, and the awkwardness comes from lack of communication. So sometimes you go to a business and you don't know what their policies are, and you don't know if you're supposed to wear a mask or if you're supposed to wear gloves, or what you can do to make, either yourself feel safe or the other people feel comfortable. And I know for Bobby Dodd Institute, we've been able to have some visitors, like Jason, you and Wes came, and I try to be extremely clear on what the expectations are. But I can imagine in the business where you have a mobile workforce, where whether it's drivers or whether it's people visiting other locations, it creates a lot of confusion on not knowing what the expectations are before you arrive to that location.
Right.
So, I've been trying to over communicate that to our people and our contacts. But yeah, that's really where we're at right now. The sanitizer business, we're looking at some long-term stuff with J&S. We're looking at commercial bottling equipment and really ramping this up to be a provider on a state and federal level to some of our contracts and some of our business associates. So if anyone has expertise in that world, the packaging world and commercial bottling world, I'd love to get some connections there, because dealing with salespeople right now, they'll sell you whatever $150,000 piece of equipment they can, and it doesn't mean much if you don't have a whole lot of experience and know what to expect. So we'll take any connections if anyone knows them.
Okay.
I have a couple connections to people who deal in used food equipment, and that could include bottling.
Yeah. I think any type of bottling knowledge would be beneficial for us, especially dealing with the FDA and just the general OSHA and packaging requirements. Just so I can really just know what type of water we're swimming in here.
Okay. OSHA.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things we want to do is if you'll go to, and this is one of the things I'm going to really encourage and lean on you guys to help me with, is go to the Georgia Manufacturing Alliance LinkedIn page, and post your request and say, we're looking for bottling expertise, not salespeople, but bottling expertise.
Yep.
Give us some guidance and insight for bottling recommendations. If you'll post that, and we want to, again, encourage and get more people actively. If you're not following it, good Lord, please follow the Georgia Manufacturing Alliance LinkedIn page. If you're not following it, please follow it. But if you are following it, we want to do more and more to drive traffic and use that as our platform of communication outside of these calls. So, and we get a lot of traction on that. So, and when you put that on there, then I'll personally go back and like it and tag it and comment, and that'll push it through all of my personal contacts, which are a lot larger than the LinkedIn platform. So, that work?
Right. Okay.
Yes.
It does. Yes. Thank you.
Hey Joe, in LinkedIn, in the search bar on top, you can do hashtag and then the word bottling, BOTTLING.
Yeah.
And a page will show up with all kinds of companies that do bottling, or maybe you can do the hashtag bottling expertise.
Mhm.
And then it
Gotcha.
would be kind of good to go to link that to GMA. So when Jason posts this call today or has anything about this call, you comment in that LinkedIn post and say, would love to have a connection with, and you tie it to one of the people that you found in that hashtag search.
All right.
So
Perfect.
that
Thank
gives
you for that. I
GMA
appreciate it.
points. Yeah, it gives GMA points, and also you get a better connection. Who knows, Jason may get another member out of it.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Yeah,
It's a
I'll
great
handle that.
search feature.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Koki, and thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I'm headed to JNS today. We're going to do I think I mentioned it earlier, but Georgia Trends doing an article. They asked me to write some stuff, or not write, but contribute. I talked, they wrote. Yep. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about the success story between you guys, and so we're going to do some additional photos and stuff for that. So I'm
very nice.
stoked about that deal. 2017 was the last time I was in there to any significance, and hopefully we're going to draw some more press and attraction to Bobby Dodd, to JNS, and to all the stuff, and all the members of GMA. So
great,
sweet. So a couple things that you tagged on that were kind of stood out to me is 18 new employees just to take over, to grow in that space at Tech. That's huge. Another thing is understanding and communicating. There's two people on here on this call, but I definitely want to kind of pick your brain a little bit about understanding and communicating what is, what the expectations are for business as you go in and as you work through this. LD, if we could figure out a way to like have a 4x8 sign that we could carry around with us as I'm a mask wearer, or I'm not, other than it showing on your face, right? Or I have a breathing problem, or I'm disabled and can't, and you can't ask me why I'm not, right? Because dude, I have seen some unreal responses as far as you can go on either side of
it's disgusting.
Not wear a mask, and I'm like, I ain't kicking that cage, right? But people do, especially if we're going into their space, we need to understand. But on the flip side of that, I would encourage you to, if you're inviting guests in, let them know what the protocol and the expectation is, right? So I think all of us, that communication's got to go both ways, and if there's ways that we can prep that, I know LD's got some great solutions visually that will help, and then also Justin's got some pieces that we're talking about doing for the entire supply chain, and we need to like connect all of these dots, because like you said, Joe, people that are in and out of places every day, that's part of their job, they don't have as much control over who's, what they're going into. And so I'd love to have Justin. Justin's going to come. I have extended an invitation to do a brainstorming session with Justin on Friday. So he's going to come to the office a little bit early. We are not wearing masks in the office, so you can leave yours at the house if you'd like. You can feel free to wear one if you'd like as well. It's hard to drink beer through that, but you can give it a shot. But he's going to come up to the office on Friday, and we're going to do a brainstorming session about this safe shippers and the safe supply chain for Georgia. And so Justin, two things, one, tell us who you are, what you do, how you connected, and then also in that, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing and some ideas about finding solutions to some of the challenges we've already addressed.
Yeah, I love this topic. This is where I, shine. I'm Justin with Diesel Grid. We do local supply chain here in Atlanta, about 150-mile radius around Atlanta, and dedicated drop trailer stuff, keep everything moving, type of things. We talk about what's coming up and what's happening. I've got one indicator that I'm just ready to see and ready for it to open. When Mercedes-Benz can open up and have 60, 70,000 people in there, we're done. We're moving forward. We're going forward. This country is going to be great because everyone's going to want to move back everything manufacturing and all that stuff.
So that's your benchmark. So that's your
What's that?
That's your benchmark is when Mercedes-Benz.
Like that point, when that happens, I'm trying to buy everything as much as possible because that's going to be the lowest point that's available. Anything after that is going to start costing more money.
Right.
So that's my indicator. If we can do that before September, I pray to God we can. You know what I mean? I think a lot of this, that $4 trillion is going to get somewhat spent by September. Those PPP loans are only last 8 weeks. We're going to start seeing that happen at the end of June, beginning of July. So companies, if things aren't back to normal, a restaurant can only have 4 tables open for so long before it goes out of business.
Yep.
I mean, it's just not going to happen. So when all that stuff happens, I'm good to go. Until then, I'm pretending it's not, and I'm just trying to prepare for that. As far as what we're doing at work, our numbers did increase a little bit, and they are getting a little bit better, but it's still not, it's not what it is. The money created from mass gatherings is huge, and that's just a huge economic impact. And until we have that again, nothing's going to be the same. So you gotta go 2 ways, right? You gotta look at A and B option here. You gotta prepare for A and hope for B, and that's what we're doing. I mean, we're starting to hear people talk about that. I really do think July will be a big indicator of how this thing slowly starts to snowball should those mass gatherings not start to happen. Right. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think we're running a thin line right now, and it's, I think, a lot dependent on how the virus reacts, not as much as how people react. As jacked up as a perception of that is, I mean, people are going to respond the way that people are going to respond. I mean, the streets are going to be full of people, the beaches are going to be full of people, the parks are going to be full. That's just how folks are going to respond, and how the virus reacts in this space is that's just the result that we're going to have to deal with. And if we're clear, I'm telling you, if we're clear in 3 weeks in Georgia, dude, it is game on. I mean, we got a fun ride ahead for sure. And if not, then it's, then we'll have another discussion. These Zoom calls will extend for a little bit longer, which I'm thankful that we have them, but I'm ready to go see people. So Justin, yeah, we're going to pick your brain a little bit about on Friday, and you and I are going to kick some stuff around about putting this package together on the safe shipper piece as well. And Joe, you had something you want to share?
Yeah, I think Justin makes some great points about kind of some markers in the reopening process. Like Memorial Day for me was one of them, because there was a lot of doom and gloom leading up to mass gatherings and people on the beach and people in the pool for Memorial Day, and seeing kind of the results of that over the next couple of weeks. And like you said, how the virus reacts. And then, 4th of July is another one coming up where it's a historically large gathering event for people. And then, like the Mercedes-Benz stadiums and the larger corporations, Disney made big announcements yesterday about reopening the parks, and just kind of, tying in what the bigger companies are doing and how they're handling the procedures to reopen. And then, like you said, kind of how the virus reacts to it and where the path kind of leads us after that. I think it's key. I think those are great points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as association executives, when we went through and I plugged into these trade show executive calls and hearing these guys, I mean, we have been in, maybe we've carried that burden, or we've placed that burden on our own backs, but we've chosen to, as leaders in this space that coordinate and facilitate mass gatherings. I mean, we have got to step out on the thin branches and say, yeah, we're in. I mean, I promise you, in this business, we're stepping out and we're committed, because if we don't do it, then who's going to? If GMA doesn't have the summit in September the 15th, if we chicken shit and bail out on it and say, nah, we just don't feel like it, then where are you guys going to go to grow your business, right? Where are you guys going to go to learn best practices? Where are you going to go to start filling your pipeline again, right? And so we have to be just, maybe 2 steps out on it, and we're ready. I mean, every association exec that I know and all the folks that are running shows, I mean, because it is a bloodbath. There's no insurance. If it doesn't flow, we got to give all the money back. Well, and we don't have to. Actually, the contract says, if you give me money, I'm keeping it, right? That's your agreement. Just so you know, that's what the GMA agreement is. But the way that it works is for you to come back next year, we're going to give you the money back because we want to, or you can transfer it to next year, whatever, right? But if the doors are open, it's our obligation to the community to provide that platform. And we have to plan so far in advance. But I'm thrilled. We got holy crap, we got new exhibitors that didn't know us from Adam. We called through a handful of people, pitched it out, got brand new members and brand new exhibitors that have never heard of us before yesterday, looked at our website and signed up immediately. They're like, if you're going to do the show, we're going to be there. So if you want a booth, now's your time to pick one early, so we're excited to see the vibe, not just of the GMA community, but the industry as a whole is taking a deep breath and saying, okay, I want to be part of that, which is freaking cool, man. I mean, because we're counting big on networking. So, all right. Well, Justin, I really do appreciate that. And LD, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing. Tell me, give me the vibe of the fast signs, customers, internal, external, and LD's head, right? All of that.
Okay, sure. Hi, everybody. So the vibe. We are doing a lot of COVID guideline signage right now. And yesterday on our networking group, I had provided a link. We actually have a COVID catalog right now for the businesses returning, so that you can be prepared for the important communication to your customers when you start when the reentry starts in full. But the vibe is you have some people that are they're already on the beaches, they're already in the restaurants. It's hard to really gauge because, like you said, people are going to be people. It's the virus that you're going to have to watch. Yeah. React to. So in the amount of, I guess personally what I'm seeing out there is the disdain between the two factions of wear your mask and you can't make me, is really been unsettling to figure out, even if you are communicating what your guidelines are for the store, you're going to have people that are going to fall in line and want to make other people feel comfortable. And then you're going to have people that are just have that volatile aspect. And that's, I've seen that out in public personally, where these are guidelines and even though they're well marked, there's great signage, there's communicators at the door saying this is, the manner, they have special staff in certain places that are explaining to the customers as they come in, this is what we need to do. And you have all this level of resistance. So you can put and this is sort of where I'm at with all of our signage, you can put that signage out there and you can try to communicate as best as you can. And, maybe that's going to hit about 80% of the people that are coming into contact. And that goes for your employees as well. Right. When you're communicating, I mean, as owners, as business owners and management, you can put all of those pieces out there and hopefully it's going to help streamline as many people as you can get to. But there's always going to be that level of uncertainty on how people are going to respond. So it's just been interesting to see how even our customers respond. Some are still don't want to deal with us because our lobby isn't open, and we're sort of just, and again, we've been doing it for 2 months and our numbers are still up, or you're coming up. This past month, we've been busy, just so busy. So there's people that are okay with falling in line. And so that's sort of what we're seeing. I did want to real quick, because I've been wanting to say this to Justin, as far as, and when you guys powwow on Friday, my idea is, as far as those guidelines go, if you had a video of guidelines that you can send out in an email, maybe to people who your customers or your people you're delivering to, so ahead of time they've got this, okay, this is bam 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 bam, you know, and that's one of the ways you communicate your guidelines is in a video that you can send via email. Or, you know, that might be another option, not just signage but on the video side of things.
That's a great idea. Yeah, some of us are too lazy to read through a text. Yes.
Exactly. I mean,
we just
I was on a meeting with a guy last week, and they had their marketing company, and they are doing video emails right now.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that they have just been gangbanging on. They're called Bright Tribe.
Yeah.
And they've come up and they've made it so easy to do and to brand and to put out there. And so, yeah, Justin, that was one of the things I wanted to get with you about. And again, trying to communicate to make it easy for people to know where you're at.
Yeah, we part of our video that we're trying to shoot will kind of show those action items of what the process would be, so people can understand that. Yeah. And hopefully we get that script done, we can get that shot, and we've got the location to shoot right now, and we've got somewhat of the script. We definitely have all the action items. So as soon as we get the finished product, we'll upload it. Hopefully we get that on the GMA website.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Definitely embed that and share that around. I'm stoked about that package. And one of the other pieces is, as you're sending out text messages to the gatekeepers at the facilities, if that was just a lead text message, because you can watch videos through text, right?
Yeah.
Send them a link to the video and boom, and that guy can watch a 45-second. This is the truck that's coming, not the truck, but this is the process that's about to happen. We're coming to your gate, and this is the expectations. They can watch it once and never have to open it again. But video just so powerfully communicates.
Absolutely.
Thank you, LD. I appreciate that.
Sure.
All right.
I've also read that if you're doing a video, to include closed captioning because it affects the search engine results.
It does. Correct.
So LD, you do these partitions that go in front of cashiers.
Mm-hmm.
Could you decorate them also?
We do. We can brand them. We've done branded ones with logos, but then we can put some cool frosted designs. You know, I mean, we've
partition bling.
Yes, yeah, we absolutely can bling your partition. So you can look good and be safe. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Illy. Tell us what's going on at VDL, brother. What's shaking in your world?
We're still busy. I mean, we're busy getting new machinery in. We're fortunate to work for the businesses that are still running full speed. So that's going well. We're trying to make sure everyone's healthy, make sure to keep the spirits up. So on Friday we have a food truck for everyone to get free lunch and help out there as much as we can. So that's good. And as a virus in general, I hope things go back to normal. I hope people use their common sense. And I think when we do that, then we can reopen.
Right.
And the better we're doing that, I think the quicker we will get back to normal. Mm-hmm. And I think the economy will go really quickly. Because what I do see is that a lot of companies that used to outsource in China or in Europe are now knocking on our door and be like, hey, we would like to come locally, or trying to bring it back to the US. So I do think that's really good. And I see a lot of opportunities there for everyone, but also for us.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What do you, I mean, so you're seeing numbers kind of rise and getting some new contacts, new customers. I'll tell you one thing. I mean, what we're seeing on our website is exploding with new traffic from all over the country. And so you guys are positioned in just the right place, because when they come here and they look, I put a new thing on our website. It's called Hotjar. So you can track, when somebody comes to the website, you can see every movement of their mouse and every button that they click on. So it's recording every piece of the visit. And you can see somebody comes to the web page and how many pages they click on and what they look at. And dude, it's pretty wicked. I didn't know you could do that. But we're getting tons of traffic from people out of state, way more than we have ever done in the past. because those other facilities are closed down. So we're having the opportunity. We're teed up. I mean, VDL stands to, man, I am so excited about having you guys here, because when they're looking, if they come to our site and they don't find what they're looking for, then that's a challenge. But everybody here brings something special to the table, right? So if they're looking for that resource and VDL can provide it, man. So I would encourage you guys to go back, make sure that your company profile clearly states what it is that you do and the services that you do. So go to the GMA webpage, go to the member directory, online directory, and type in the keywords that you think people would search for you on. And if your profile doesn't come up, go modify your profile and add those words so that it does come up. Don't just load it with keywords. I mean, it needs to be legible and it needs to make sense. But when somebody types in, metal fabrication, make sure that that's part of your description so that you'll pop up automatically in the GMA search. So cool. That's the point. What are you guys doing as far as separation in your facility? What are you seeing? What's working? Hand sanitizer? I mean, any kind of like COVID specific changes that you have made?
Yeah, so for us, we're making sure that everyone is taking breaks at a different time.
Okay.
And if people have later breaks, they can start a little later and work a little longer, if that's also in line with their families. And besides that, most of us in the office have our own office. Besides the engineers, we have 4 to 5 people sitting there. So just making sure that, if someone's not feeling well, just stay home. You can work from home. You don't even have to take paid time off. We're a lot more lenient right now,
right,
to make sure that everyone stays healthy and doesn't take any risk just to get a paycheck. Just stay home. You'll get paid. We'll make sure we'll figure it out and try to help each other out as much as possible.
It says a lot about the culture of the company and the leadership mentality. I mean, I'm glad to see that, coming to the table with so many of our companies and partners. And you said, now tell me again a little bit about the mask situation for you guys working in and out of those. I know you guys are in kind of some.
Yeah, we have people from outside the company. They wear masks,
okay,
and everyone inside the company, if you want, you can wear a mask, and if you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to wear a mask. But it's totally up to yourself. So we have the front desk lady. She wears a mask because she's in touch with people coming in and out,
sure,
from delivery people to the few people that are visiting right now. We don't have many visitors. But besides that, a few of our team leaders, they are wearing masks because they're running around on the floor talking to their team members. And besides that, we just make sure that we keep our distance. So the few key players who are in touch with a lot of people, they wear masks. And besides that, it's your own decision. We supply masks if they need them.
Okay.
And we have these bottles of alcohol to clean your hands. That's how we support it as much as possible.
Sweet. Did that bottle of alcohol say BDI and JNS chemical? If not, we can make sure we get you some of that.
Good.
I know a guy, right? I know a guy. Help you out on that. All right. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate that insight for sure. All right. Miss Michelle, what is shaking in your world, girl?
Oh, I do life insurance as well as the group stuff. So I talk with people on a more personal level about what their concerns are and that kind of thing. And I think one thing that's kind of taken me aback is some of the people that are normally just even keel have jumped on a bandwagon one way or the other, and they've gotten really upset about things and people taking things out of context. I'm a big make my own mind up kind of thing, but I educate myself before I do it. So, it's a little frustrating when people don't look at all of the information. But then again, it's confusing to some people if all they're watching is the news. It changes every day.
Yeah.
And actually, I saw a post yesterday where somebody had taken a picture of a green sign, and it said, it was talking about truckers. And it said, you're not allowed to use the restroom. You're not allowed to go into the break room, but people automatically assumed, I mean, there was like 100 and something comments about it. They automatically assumed that it was for a store or a truck stop or something to that nature. So people were, I mean, they were upsetting each other with their comments. And I just wanted to be a voice of reason, saying these signs are posted at people's workplace because they have a responsibility to keep their workers safe. And they're working on these things, but people are not going to read anything that has reason on it. But, you know, I almost called Justin, like, what can I say to these people to calm them down? But it's not at a store, and it's not, you know, that kind of thing. And also, I think some of these places, like a lot of these public places could benefit from fast signs, from signs kind of streamlining things, because they'll have, like, you walk into, you know, a vitamin store, for instance. They've got like 15 pieces of paper on the window with warnings that, you know, there's a whole paragraph. Nobody's going to read all that before they walk in. So you have to pick your bullet points, pick what is specific to your location, and, you know, and instead of trying to be so broad, you know, pick what is for your specific business and what fits your environment, because that's what sets the atmosphere, everything else. Because if you're freaking out about the people coming in, then your workers that are coming in contact with those people are not going to feel like, you know, that they're not going to feel comfortable there.
Right.
That if you're taking these precautions to be on the defensive rather than just taking care of yourself, like you take a multivitamin every day, it just becomes a part of something. But if you're, you know, walking around spraying everybody with Lysol, that's a different kind of atmosphere that you're putting out there. And Bright Tribe, I am going to work on him joining us as well, because he's in this area. I went to high school with him.
Me
He's
too.
got a lot of great ideas. Brian, is it Brian?
Brian. Yeah.
Brian Dempsey. Yeah.
Yes.
I went to high school with him, so
Sharp guy. Yeah.
he is.
Well, Michelle, you brought up some really cool points. I think that, you know, the visible piece, you know, and people are talking about, you know, people wearing masks or showing compliance and all this stuff. Now, I am a, you know, there are rule followers on the planet, and then there are non-rule followers on the planet, right? I would fit kind of mostly over here. I did 4 years in the Air Force. I left with as many years as I had agreed to, and they had as many planes as they had when I started. So it all worked out, but that was not, by my nature, a good environment to be as controlled with every step. It may be the man that I am today, and I'm thankful for it, but there's different mindsets about how people, either you follow the rules or you don't follow the rules, or you kind of somewhere in between. And it's like, now this may offend some people, and I apologize if it does, but I am a gun fanatic. I love guns. I'm a Second Amendment dude. I am open carry, the whole deal, right? So it helps me. So that brings this crazy conversation that's divisive to the same space where we're talking about today. When I walk into a facility and it says no firearms, gun-free zone, I can see that it's a no firearms. If I'm concealed, that I make the choice whether I go in there or not, right? They'll never know. But with the mask, if there was something that you could put on the window that says mask-free zone or mask optional, right? Or mask only, if you had 3 options. Mask free, mask optional, you know, mask required. If there was some standard visually.
Right, because there is for smoking. I mean, I know that's not an option anymore. There used to be like a big cigarette with a line, you know, through it if there's no smoking in there. So.
And LD, I think there's a home run in here if you help like frame that up and say, okay, well, this is And there may already
Yeah.
be the standard.
If you check out the guideline book, that's sort of the reason that, and that is something that's gone through all 800 and something locations worldwide through all the fast signs.
Okay.
So that we can have some type of consistency. Yes, they can be branded and made specific for your place and your space, but at the same time, we're trying to, across the board, anytime you go to a fast signs, that you can choose from this catalog to train people's eyes to start to visually see what the, you know, what Michelle suggested. You know, you see a no smoking sign, you see the gun, you know, the drug-free zones. It's something, and that's just something moving forward with the masks that we're going to see, you know, at least over the next several months, if not longer. But yeah, that consistent, that visual simplicity and consistency is huge.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Also, I think, you know, like with chemical, hazmat, all of these kind of things, everybody on here has seen those. If there's a uniformity to it, you know, okay, that's hazardous material. That's whatever. And I get that people want to brand and that kind of thing, but at some point, I believe we need to know, like what's in front, you know, because you see people's logos and color, and I'm thinking more like retail type spaces and ones that where people just see a logo and they don't think anything of it, or if they see something that's branded and it matches the decor, but if it's yellow or orange or red or, you know, something, it stands out as different, that this is something that needs to be read.
Right.
It's not just, oh, we welcome our customers, and it's not just, you know, sunshine and rainbows, but it is, you know, pertinent information that you need to read, you know, when you walk in, or
And back to the
or a station for.
It was all about communication.
And symbols, sorry, symbols are better than words. You know, pictures, pictograms, or, you know, how nice is it to sit there and look at a pictogram of things. And so that's what we're trying to do as well, is to, if you go through the catalog and you'll see, you know, spray bottle, you know, here. And so it's an easy visual communication that sort of transcends language. So
I think I'm going to check that out later.
If you can marry it to a clever cartoonish illustration, you have a copyright opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, cool. Roger, you want to share with us what you're seeing, man? What's going on in the engineering, machine design, space, safety world? Roger? Okay.
There we go. So, as you were talking, I was just thinking.
Sweet.
So anyways, I was contacted the past couple of days. Somebody who wants my involvement in a personal injury lawsuit on a piece of equipment. The trial is scheduled for October. They anticipate it being delayed because of the backlog. This is in California. Okay. I visited a client last week, observed one of their tests, and their protocol is visitors will wear a mask. Visitors will be screened for temperature. Visitors must answer 6 questions on a questionnaire before they're allowed in the plant, and only allowed in the plant by invitation.
Okay.
Well, that's been pretty standard by invitation anyways, no cold call salespeople. But 3 weeks earlier, you had to get the vice president's approval. That seems to have gone by the way.
Okay.
This is a company that employs thousands of people in the plants.
Right.
So I showed up the tent to be screened and issued a mask, and the personnel person was away, and I had to wait about 5-10 minutes for them to show up. It's like, okay. I was in a meat department shopping yesterday evening. When I was a kid, my mother would serve some food that today is considered ethnic food, and you can buy those cuts of meat, and they're expensive. They rival the price of steak.
Mm-hmm.
what I noticed last night is hamburger also rivals the price of steak.
Right. Wow.
So there's something afoot in the whole meat industry. The supplies seems to be somewhat disrupted, and so, in fact, the ethnic food that I thought was way too expensive as an ethnic food is now actually cheaper than hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, who wants to buy oxtail?
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thought that was kind of odd. Saturday evening, I participated in a social function over the internet, and there were some people there. I think they chose to be afraid. They were moving outside of their house. Now, some of them are in vulnerable groups.
Right.
But still they are, and they have a tendency to assume that if anybody doesn't agree with them, there must be some deficiency of some sort. But one person commented, now granted, she even targeted a particular politician, and I think she wanted something to target that politician with, but she was stating her suspicion as a fact that the politicians are cooking the numbers to benefit themselves. And I'm thinking that this is a shame that the people of the public think the politicians will do that when, to my appearance, some of them are making good faith efforts. But it's like, yeah. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been contacted recently. Somebody's trying to develop a new machine, and they want to use the computer connections to do their e-stop management. And it's like, no. And so there's people out there still trying to be developing things, but yeah.
Cool. Well, Roger, I definitely appreciate that. I'm glad to hear things are moving along and they're letting you in, because we need more of that for sure. Perfect. Thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Koki, what are you seeing? What's going on in your space? You've been able to be our scribe on pretty much all the calls. So tell us what you're seeing overall and conversations you're having.
Yeah, I love the positivity that seems to trickle through at these calls, more now than ever, ready to go when it's an all clear sign. I have been asked by some event managers whether I would attend events on certain dates. And I advised somebody to go for a June 23rd date, I think it was, for a limited function. It's open, there's enough room. And the reality is, not everybody's gonna go. So the space should be sufficient, and you have to start somewhere.
Right.
And so that's what we're going to do. I'll probably help with the event, and it's a construction company, and they just need to get with more people.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to start somewhere. You got to start. You got to get going, and like you guys said, if the virus does come back with more exposure, when people are out and about, then that's a clear sign of we need to go to plan B, a different way, but let's get going.
Yeah, perfect. Mm-hmm. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Chamberlain, join us. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, what you're seeing out there.
Well, it's great to be with you guys. As far as what we're doing is, in the nature of our business, of course, is we focus heavily on helping companies analyze their data. And so as a result, one of the things that we're doing is we're taking a solution to market to, and as you can imagine, we're focusing on where we see a lot of hot activity. So healthcare is one where we're spending a lot of time, and actually logistics is another one we're spending a lot of time. And as a result, what we're trying to do is help those companies understand their data better, understand information about their organization, and pull that information together so they can start to analyze things more clearly. I've got a customer who is kind of a unique guy. what he does is he specifically services what I consider to be kind of the least of these. These are marginalized aspects of our society. These women are pregnant women, and one of the things he services is their care and hopefully getting them to full term. And so he sits in a unique spot with respect to the states and insurance companies and the providers and that kind of thing. And so he's kind of in a unique situation of a tug of war, if you will, because hospitals, believe it or not, some numbers he shared with me, hospitals get upward of $3 million for a baby that's born at 25 weeks, where they get only $5,000 if a baby is born or goes full term. And so, you know, that's a big source of revenue for a hospital. But at the same time, it's a huge expense on the rest of us who try to, you know, are obviously ultimately paying the bill for these situations. So he sits in a really unique situation. We're helping him understand geospatially where these women might be, what risks they might be having, so they can get better care and get real-time information about that. So just anecdotally, just one of the things that we're doing, but we're also helping manufacturers with their visibility into their inventory. So helping them understand and get real-time information about what the status of a shipment is or status of a given product, those kinds of things. So anyway, just some of the things that we're seeing. As far as most of my work happens to be virtual, so I'm not really interacting much face-to-face as some of you may be. So as a result, we're kind of continuing on as we more or less normally have. There's typically a lot of travel with what we do, of course, but that has been now we converted all to Zoom meetings. And so a lot of the business I've been doing has all been, you know, through the Zoom platform. But just personally, I'm just seeing things a lot more, getting back more to normal just from my own personal interactions of where I've been going. I played golf this weekend. I saw, you know, people seem to be interacting more normally to me. It still affected the sport itself, but for the most part, yeah, so it seems to be getting normal. Restaurants are starting to open up around us, so we're starting to see that. So hopefully we're heading in the right direction.
Cool. Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna let you guys in on a little track that we're working on. We as an organization are committed to help support and grow manufacturing in the state of Georgia. That's what we do. Those of you that are in the supply chain, manufacturing space, you making stuff, that we're here to serve you, but we're also want to make sure we bring the right suppliers and partners in so that you'll have new people to connect with, which is a bonus. But I believe that we'll be able to have a larger impact and help more people, obviously, if we help more people get on these calls. So I'm gonna pitch out a challenge to you for you to invite people to come join you on especially next Monday's call on the town hall. We've got some neat announcements that are coming out. If you've not registered, please go register now for the town hall. I think they got it up, but get the registration for the town hall. And we're not doing Tuesday. Wednesday will be networking. Thursday will be this call again to share insights on this. And then I may have another, you know, I'm going to be reaching out to several more manufacturers, because that's what we want to do is we want to be able to bring more of the manufacturing insights to this call to allow them to participate as well. So everybody on this call, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to a couple manufacturers that you know, and then invite them to come join us calls, because I think if we grow the base a little bit more, I mean, selfishly, I'll tell you, I mean, we're looking to grow members, but I think all the stuff that we've been providing, hopefully, you know, I mean, if it's helpful enough for you guys to be here, hopefully, you know, you see that it'll help us, let you be the resource that made the introduction to the community that can help the folks that you're talking to. So I would challenge you and invite you to do that. But invite everybody that you can. The Monday call is wide open. We've got some cool stuff we're going to be announcing on it. Make sure you get registered. Bring a couple folks with you. You know, there's, again, no cost on these calls at all. Next week, we're going to be doing, we are not going to have a Wednesday. I mean, we're not going to have correct. Yeah, we're not going to have a Wednesday call because I don't have those slots. The first and third Wednesday of each month is a opportunity like Raymer Sale did. He actually purchased that window. It's a 30 to 45 minute Zoom window. If you want to position or, share your insights on a specific topic, it needs to be educational, but you can own that spot, if you want to do that. But on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month, we're going to be doing the networking. And then on Thursday, again, we'll be plugging back into this. So again, we challenge you, invite you to help share with us. And one thing I would like you to do before we wrap this call up is hop over and chat. And if you would document anything that you could see, what are the 1 or 2 up to 3 ideas that you have that would, things that you think that GMA could provide or do differently than we're doing now to make it better for you and better for the manufacturing community. So I'm gonna let you guys kind of bake on that for a minute, but I need your insights. I need to say, so what's working? If something's broke, tell me it's broke. We need to fix it. You don't like this, maybe I need to get a pink shirt or something. I mean, whatever it is, it might not, I don't know. I got a pair of red socks. We could work something out, but I mean, if there's something that we could do differently in addition to, things that we need to change. So I really need your insight on what we have seen so far and what could we do better, because there's always room for improvement. I mean, we're here, we're committed to your success. What is it that Roger needs that we could bring to the table that would benefit the community as a whole, but specifically Roger? Look at it kind of both ways. Is what do you think that the community needs? Now I'll pitch some stuff out that we're talking about. I mean, I'm ready to do a brewery tour soon. Right. There's a variety of different things that we could to do. The 26th is our first live event. We're going to do networking on June the 2nd and the 5th virtually for our local community network groups. We're not going to do it Wednesday, but we're going to do it Tuesday and Friday. The Nice Signs is the 26th, and the rest of the schedule is pretty well set out. If this call is valuable to you and you want to keep doing it, please let me know that you want to keep doing this. If you think that this is, tapering off and you don't think we need this mind share, tell me that. Say, we might need to be winding this up in a couple of weeks, or we need to keep this thing going. And this is something that'll be beneficial for the next, 6 weeks or 2 weeks or a month or whatever, I need to get, it's great to see you guys, but I can't read your mind. Believe it or not, I cannot read your mind. I wish I could. Well, I know some of y'all, that's a whole other conversation. Some of them I like to, but some of them I'm like, nah, we're good. But if
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
On that challenge, raw materials and renewable materials. I think that's key to, once this thing comes back and we're full tilt, I think sourcing that is huge, especially like in the state of Georgia, right? Because these manufacturers need those raw materials to make their products. So
Okay.
if we're going to be out, if we're going to bring back the shoring of America, that's going to be a huge part of that. Not only in the state of Georgia, but maybe partner states in key segments, you know what I mean? But inside the United States.
That's a great insight, because if our raw material providers have been focused on boxing it up and putting it on the ship, we need to turn that around and get it in our local supply chain. That's a great thought.
Yeah, and if the colleague earlier said he's already seen an increase of, hey, we want to buy this because it's made in the U.S. You know, so
yeah, cool. Well, that sounds great.
That should be an opportunity for the mineral people in Georgia.
It is. We Kaolin, I talked to one of our, again, corporate sponsors, Cayman, and they've seen a shift in their market, because they make the high value clay that's used a lot in printing and color binding. There's a variety of different things, and they've seen it, of course, move away from automotive, but actually grow in printing, which is an interesting dynamic. And they're global. I mean, the majority of their business is international. So
And Georgia wood products.
okay. Georgia wood products. Yeah, I think that sourcing raw materials all together keep it here, make it here, sell it here, and then export it. Right. Right. And then export it. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely be kicking that around. That's great, because it helps us focus on what our marketing efforts need to be around. And that's the area that we hadn't really pushed too hard on. Cool. You guys, looks like a couple of you guys are typing frantically. Feel free to add that. Anybody else got it? Okay, sweet. Perfect. Yeah. So you guys got some good insights there. Feel free to plug those in. If you're done typing, raise your hand so I know that we're good. And we'll transition. Roger, LD, Jason. Okay, so okay, well, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap this call up, guys. Thank you so much for your insights and being a part of this call. And I mean, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through it together. We're gonna get through it together better. Join us for the Fun Friday. Come, plan on doing that at 4 o'clock, get registered, and then we'll for sure, if you don't make it on Friday, we'll for sure see you guys on the Monday call. And you guys have a fantastic week. Been another great day at GMA. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.